if something's worth having, it's worth fighting for. And I know in my sense, it was literally fighting for, but I was, trying to turn my life around. I was trying to give my family, my wife and children the best life possible. And that was almost taken away from me with my eye injury, which I lost the sight in my right eye.
Your documentary Bisping, the Michael Bisping Story, comes out later on this month. I got a chance to watch it. It's really great, a really great story. But what made you want to tell your story in this new documentary?
Well, thank you very much. It was, obviously I had a lot of ups and downs throughout my life, and in my career as well, and I left school at 16 and didn't apply myself and found myself in a lot of trouble and regrettably spent some time in prison and things like that. And it was at that point when I hit rock bottom, I was like, wow, what am I doing with my life? And I managed to turn it around, and I ended up becoming UFC champion of the world, and did that. I lost vision in one eye along the way and refused to quit. And I was approached by some people from a company called Electric Panda, a production company. A very good friend of mine, Jazz Talent, runs that, and told me about this idea for a documentary, and the team behind it were award-winning documentary makers. I'm like, okay, all right, well, this seems like a great team. And whilst it's hard to sit down and go through the ups and downs, the nuts and bolts, and talk about yourself constantly, just like I'm doing now, we agreed to do it, and I'm very happy with the final product. And it comes out March 22nd, I believe, video on demand.
You mentioned that you were proud of the final product. So what was your initial reaction when you first watched the film?
Oh, let me see. So, I mean, it's been through many, many drafts. You know what I mean? This is like the 4th or 5th edit. But I'm blown away. They've just done such a great job. There's so many talking heads on there that bring value other than myself. We got guys like Vin Diesel and Mickey Rourke. We got tons of people from the fight game, Dana White, George St. Pierre, so Joe Rogan, so it's really good. And what surprised me was that it's not just, focusing on the high points. The more interesting parts for me are like when it delves into the losses, and then some of the guest speakers talk about, how hard it is, coming back from a loss, and other people talk about their experiences. And then people like Michael Jai White are talking about the challenges going through life, being an alpha male and stuff. So it's a really introspective, psychological look at the fight game. So I was very, very happy.
Absolutely. And a lot of UFC fans, you developed a big UFC fan base over the years. I'm pretty sure they're going to check this film out. So what's the one thing you want UFC fans to take away from your documentary?
Oh, good question. I mean, not just UFC fans, anyone that watches in general, is that don't give up. If something's worth having, it's worth fighting for. And I know in my sense, it was literally fighting for, but I was, trying to turn my life around. I was trying to give my family, my wife and children the best life possible. And that was almost taken away from me with my eye injury, which I lost the sight in my right eye. And there was many other injuries as well. I lost, I've got 2 knee replacements. I got plates in my neck. I've got one eye, but I refused to quit, and everybody wrote me off. Everybody said he's not good enough. He's not fast enough, strong enough, athletic enough. And he's just not skilled enough. And no one gave me a chance, but I didn't give up on myself, and I kept going, and I ended up becoming champion of the world. So I guess the message is, if you believe in yourself, don't give up on yourself, keep going, keep fighting.
Along with what you did in UFC as a fighter, you also keep up with this as an analyst, and UFC 272 just wrapped up this past weekend. So where do you see the future of UFC going, say, in the next 5 to 10 years as it continues to grow?
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously, when you go back to the early days of the UFC, it was banned. It wasn't allowed on cable television.
Right.
Of course, it's cleaned up. There's many, many more rules now, because it was wild when it first started. It was literally a crazy sport. But now it's been catered to, modern society. There's rounds, there's rules, and all the rest of it. Now it's a huge sport all over the world. It's on ESPN, and it's just getting bigger and bigger all the time, and there's more fans coming into the sport and admiring the sport all the time. So I don't know where it's going to be in 5 to 10 years time, but it's going to be even bigger than what it is now, that's for sure.
Definitely agree with that. And the last question for me before I let you go is, along with your UFC career, you also have a successful movie career, and you're attached to The Journeyman, which is based on the book Journeyman. How is that coming along? Where are you along the lines of that? Have you started filming yet?
Yeah, no, well, thank you for mentioning that. Yeah, so obviously, I found myself doing a bit of acting work, which I never thought I would have done. And again, this is another way of, really exploring your opportunities and going after your dreams. I'm very lucky in that regard. I've managed to get some work. I've got Den of Thieves 2 coming up later this year. Okay. We just had Never Back Down Revolt go live on Netflix, so check that out if you 90 minutes free. But yeah, The Journeyman is it's an incredible story. We haven't started production yet. It's about a fighter that he develops brain damage, but he continues fighting. He's not a glamorous fighter. He's on a very small boxing scene in the UK. He has problems with he has addiction problems and things like that. And yeah, it's when I read the script, I cried. When I read the script, I cried. It's so powerful. And you know how it is. It's an independent movie. We're still in the stages of securing finance and things like that. But it's still very much the focus of ours, and hopefully we'll go into production sometime soon.
All right. Looking forward to it. Michael, thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it. Congrats on the documentary. Congrats on the journey, man, and continued success to you.